Hey guys, PrinceofMacedon here, and I'm doing a what-if battle, and I'm joined by my what-if co-commentator, AceBlazer25.
Hey guys, this is Blaze, aka Ace Blazer, and this is a battle for the ages. It's what everyone's been waiting for, isn't it?
That's right guys, one of your favorite ancient commanders from history, Julius Caesar versus Hannibal Barca. And, yeah, we both have our own favorites. We'll talk about that later. Um,
hmm
as for this battle, I will be representing Julius Caesar, and this is his army that would have been at the Battle of Munda, or so I try to theme it around. Whereas the Carthaginian army here is represented by the rebel faction, just because I think it's better to use the rebels for Hannibal's army, because you can use his Gallic troops for the rebels, with the rebels. But yeah, Hannibal's army is based on his army at the Battle of Trebia, where he still had elephants. And my opponent's name is Monkeyman from the TNA clan. And really quickly, I'll talk about my deployment here. I hid all my cav on my right here, so they're all hidden. And I plan to strike with this infantry element and use my cav to strike when it's most opportune. And really quickly, my opponent's deployment, I could tell what he was doing. He put his elephants and his general on his extreme left, just because those are the only elements that you can't hide in a battle. So I knew what he was doing. I knew he was hiding the rest of his army in front of my infantry. So they're gonna be around here.
I like how Caesar's out in front here,
Oh
in front of the
yes.
whole army.
Yeah, I did that because at the Battle of Munda, he had to get in front of his troops and shame them into attacking the enemy, and into fighting better.
Yeah, the Battle of Munda was like basically the last part of the Civil War he ever fought before he got assassinated, right?
Yes, this was the last of the Civil War battles for Caesar. And already, I'm being harassed by Hannibal's Balearic Slingers and his Numidian Cav.
The Caesar running around all by himself up there.
That's
Kind of
Caesar.
screening your main army.
Indeed. Let's slip the dogs of war. But yeah, at this point in the battle, I kind of, my suspicions were kind of confirmed here when his Numidians popped out, and also his Slingers, that his main body was right across from my infantry body.
hmm So this map, it's is it part of Bell's map pack mod? Because it looks very similar to Privet Marshes, but not the same.
Yeah, I forgot the exact name, but it's Byzantium Woodlands, or Byzantium Forest, or something like that.
hmm
Yeah. I wanted a map where Hannibal could use trickery, ambush, and whatnot against my Roman army.
It's a perfect match against Caesar.
Yes. I'm sending Caesar out to entice my opponent to expose his hidden positions.
He's getting in trouble, he is.
Yes, he is. He just got nailed by Hannibal, or what was called Monkeyman. Monkeyman's Balearic Slingers here. But I thought it was worth the investment in attacking him like that, just to see where his troops were. And
I see you're letting fire down on the elephants already.
yeah, his elephants got too close to me, so I used my archer auxilia to flame them, but my opponent's going to withdraw his elephants. I was very disappointed by that. Yeah, I really wanted to.
Would have been a nice advantage in the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's pretty much the main striking element of the Carthaginian army here. All of his cav, and also in conjunction with his elephants. Alright. So, I'm bringing up my infantry, because this is Caesar's biggest asset, in my opinion, against Hannibal's army, would have been his infantry.
Yeah, really depleting those Iberians there.
Yeah, that's what they got. And I'm using Caesar to launch some more, I guess, like, feign charges. But I'm still getting hit by his Balearics.
So you let the Carthaginian faction have these Greek hoplites, correct?
Oh yeah,
Kind of like...
yeah, they represent the African spears. So instead of Poeni and Sacred Bands, these guys get the hoplites. And after discharging all my Pila, I decided to charge, because I knew that time was on my side in terms of the infantry battle. And in order to suck in his elephants, I wanted to start the infantry fight immediately. That way I could flame him with my archers.
Alright, battle's just about starting.
Oh yeah,
Ah,
it
is
is.
started.
Right, hooking up with his spears, and this is when he brings out his round shields. Oh, yeah, whatever.
It's a lot of cat and mouse in this forest battle, huh?
Yeah, it's like he doesn't want to commit, and I definitely want to commit. That's good though, but that's the way Hannibal fought.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to commit until it was absolutely essential. So he launches all of his massive, well, a bunch of his cav right at my legionnaires. This is on the left here, on my left.
He's bringing over some long shields from the other side too.
Yes, he is.
It's getting very hairy pretty fast.
And he incinerates my unit of early legionary cohorts here.
Ooh.
And that's where my general's at.
Caesar's right in the middle.
Yeah, Caesar's right here.
For your general to fall
Oh.
on his sword,
Oh no.
to live another day. He is running
Caesar's
away.
go bye-bye. But,
Looks like the army will have to fight without Caesar for a while.
indeed. Great Caesar's ghost. But yeah, I brought up another unit of early legionary cohorts to scare away his cav. And that routed one of his units, but I knew that at 43 horses, they're still going to come back into the fight.
Oh, his elephants are moving.
Yeah, he doesn't want his infantry engaging my infantry without cav support, and especially without elephant support. So he has no choice now but to bring up his elephants. Exactly what I wanted. And I
I
had
thought
this,
that was rather impressive that his... Sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
no, keep going.
I thought it was rather impressive that his cavalry routed your early legionary cohorts there, with the general right in there.
Yeah, they got a really nice charge on him. But,
Alright, major elephant charge.
yeah, here's the elephant charge. I brought my light auxilia, supported by Roman infantry. And he's going right at my infantry right now. Look at that. Look at that ruckus.
Oh.
And he actually routes to my right. This is my early legionary first cohorts. That represents my 10th legion right there. And they are history. But,
Oh, but now they're running amok.
they're running amok, but they're still in my lines, so I'm not happy about that.
Oh yeah, they're heading towards your guys.
Yeah. So,
Luck
yeah, that's
of
why I
the
kept
draw,
some infantry back there to support my archers. But they're still running right through them. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, just bad luck there.
Yeah, very bad luck, unfortunately. But I did bring out some of my Roman cav.
Mm-hmm.
I brought half of them. I didn't want to bring all of them. I did that as to get a rear charge on his general. There's Hannibal right there.
Go for the general.
Yep. That was my own
Looks like... Yeah.
thing, I guess. But now I'm bringing up the rest of my cav.
Because it looks like Caesar's ridden off into the sunset there, so...
Yeah, at least he survived, I suppose. But look at that. He actually routed my 2 units of Roman cav here. With naked fanatics and Iberian infantry. I was kind of surprised by that.
Yeah, you're very close to surrounding him there. So
Yeah.
pretty good for him.
Yeah, too bad my guys broke. But yeah, I'm still doing some more charges here. Now I have my infantry supporting, but he countercharged with his long shield, so it's kind of a very much a maneuver battle here. And over here I'm charging into these hoplites, and they got pulled out of phalanx formation. But I'm going to withdraw anyways, but I don't want my cavalry fighting them.
The gods be praised.
And look at
The enemy
that.
general is dead.
We killed Hannibal.
His men know their doom approaches.
So this battle is without their
Hannibal
leaders.
dies. Hannibal dies, but the bodyguard lives on.
Indeed.
Fighting for Hannibal there.
Yeah, here they are. Chasing off my cav.
It looks like you've got the cavalry superiority though.
Yeah, I finally gained it here. And I'm getting some rear charges on these naked fanatics.
This battle's all over the place. It's kind of hard to follow like where the main point is.
Yeah, it's really hard to follow. And I apologize to my viewers for being all over the place. Here comes the rest of Monkeyman's cavalry. And look at this.
Ah, so that's where they were. Ooh,
He's getting this really nice charge on my guys. And at the same
that was
time,
really awesome.
yeah, he's also bringing his Numidians. I'm bringing in my Roman cav to help. And he's bringing up his hoplites here. And in return, I'm bringing up my light auxilia to stop those hoplites from joining that fight. I think if they join, they would slaughter my guys.
Yeah, if this cavalry came by earlier, it would have definitely turned the tide.
Indeed.
But those few, like about a minute, you had cavalry superiority there for a minute, so
Yeah,
allowed you to gain the upper hand. That's pretty crazy.
it was a very timely, like, choice to charge all my guys in
Mhm.
at that point. And he responded in the same manner, but I was 1 second faster than him. Routed the hoplites, and I routed those cavaliers.
All right. And
And
your archers are still laying down some covering fire there. Routed some hoplites I saw.
indeed. So yeah, that was very close, you can see. Because that charge could have easily incinerated my legionnaires. Because he had lots of them. Fully upgraded too, by the
Oh
way.
yeah.
His cavalry. Except for his Numidians. So,
So it looks like it's time to consolidate.
yeah, my opponent is going to get what he has, and he's going to run away. You can see what he's doing here.
But I think he outnumbers you, doesn't he? Because he's actually got units behind you too. A
Yeah,
unit of
he,
naked fanatics out there.
He definitely outnumbers me heavily. But
Going
I've
for the
got
open ground, it looks like.
Yeah. And I was trying to chase here. Actually here, see these hoplites here? I knew that they were tired. So I took my light auxilia. I didn't want those guys linking up either. So I took my light auxilia, and I'm going to charge those hoplites. And we'll see what happens. He turns around, but they just can't hack it against my light auxilia.
Nope.
Yeah, see, I saw what he was doing when he was sending all of his army, all of his troops up that hill. And that was fine, but I didn't want those hoplites to join. I think that to me was crucial, taking out these hoplites here.
Indeed. I think that's his last heavy infantry unit, isn't it?
Yeah, let's see what he does have. He's moving his troops up this hill. So here's a unit of naked fanatics at 34. Unit of more naked fanatics tired at 43. He's got some Numidian mercenaries, 14 horses. Balearic slingers at 65. And he's got these skirmishers at 79.
So did you shoot all your Pilum by this time?
Let me think. No, I still had some, actually. I conserved
Probably a
it.
major advantage.
Yeah. With these archers here, I was charging them up. I wanted to shoot the backs of his troops, but I was like, hey, you know, I'll just let them rest for now. And I was kind of fearful of those Balearic slingers being on the hill because they have a extended range when they're on top of a hill.
Yeah.
So I pulled back. So let's see what I do have. I have 44 archers in this unit, 29 legionnaires here, 14 in this unit, and 19 in that. And then I have my light auxilia of 43, and that's my army.
Seems to be a bit of a stalemate here for now.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure how to approach this, because he's uphill here, and he still has his Balearic slingers and some cav. But
Like I think those naked fanatics could put on a pretty good fight against the legionaries.
yeah, definitely, especially with the hilltop advantage. But look at this. This is something I rarely do.
Testudo.
Testudo. But kind of ironically, at the Battle of Munda, his opponents were also on top of the hill, and they would not come down. And this is what I based Caesar's army on, was his army at the Battle of Munda. And the reason why I did that is because I think this was Caesar's best army, because at this point his infantry was pretty much all battle-hardened, and he had 8,000 cavalry at this fight, and probably about 2,000 light infantry, like his archers and slingers. And Hannibal, this is Hannibal's army at the Battle of Trebia, he would have had about 20,000 heavy infantry, 10,000 cavalry, so slightly more cavalry than what Caesar would have had. And not to mention that he also has his elephants, which are now gone. And this is, yeah, at the Battle of Trebia, that's where Hannibal last used his elephants before, you know, Battle of Zama again. And then he had about 8,000 light infantry.
So moving up in Testudo. Here's a thought though. A lot of people are really like fascinated by the Testudo. Why do you think that is? Like it's in pop culture everywhere. In all the new movies, you always see Romans going to Testudo.
I
think
don't
that is?
know. It's it's fairly misunderstood. It's mainly
Yeah.
for deflecting like arrows and whatnot. But I think
Mhm.
people saw what it looks like and they go, "Oh, this looks cool." Yeah, what's used in every battle, even though it has no purpose.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely good for like deflecting arrows. Like when approaching the city walls, that would be a good case.
Mhm. Something that like you need to keep in mind though is like these shields are not indestructible.
Yeah,
I think they're made out of wood and stuff, right? So
indeed.
like arrows still can still get through them, as evidenced by a Karhe.
Yeah, it'll poke through. Karhe, that was a good example of when to use Testudo because they had no choice there.
Mhm.
But if you watch a movie like, was it The Eagle? Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They charged out and
Yeah, they went right at the enemy's infantry in Testudo. That made absolutely no sense.
yeah, that kind of yeah, made me shake my head a bit.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, why am I watching this?
Oh well.
Yeah. Hey, so really quick, I want to ask you, between Julius Caesar and Hannibal Barca, who do you prefer as a military commander?
I would prefer Hannibal Barca, and it's mostly because he had a lot of different nationalities in his army that wouldn't gel unless it was brought together with a really good leader. And he was fighting the Romans, a well-oiled military machine. And the thing about Caesar is that, yeah, he's a great military commander, but he was fighting against, well, his most famous war was against the Gauls, who for a lot of years were in a civil war. So they had basically fought each other to death, and then Caesar came in and swiped in. That's my view on the subject.
That's kind of cool, because my favorite between these two would be definitely Julius Caesar. Definitely my favorite out of all the Roman commanders. Like, in my opinion, I don't think he had the same tactical skills as Hannibal. But as a Roman commander, basically your duty is to inspire your men, and also to redirect your reserves. And I think in that kind of command style, I think Caesar was the best as a Roman commander.
There's no doubt that Caesar was like a great statesman and politician, like just so ahead in that regard.
Indeed, and his battles are really exciting because a lot of times he was on the brink of defeat, actually serious disaster, and he always found a way. Well, most of the time he found a way to rescue himself.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think.
I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say that. Yeah, I think his army was definitely a big part of Caesar's strategy. I think his army dictated his tactics, whereas Hannibal, he dictated his army, and he can make miracles out of whatever crap he had. But still, I want to say I prefer Caesar in this matchup.
The thing I noticed about Caesar is that his subordinates were very, very competent. I don't know if you can really say the same for Hannibal. I mean, a lot of his sub-commanders did some kind of stupid things. Caesar, there's a lot of examples where his subordinates were able to hold out themselves.
Indeed.
Do some pretty cool things.
Of course, there are some cases where his subordinates just, his soldiers would just disobey him. Like at the Battle of Munda, his infantry just started charging without his approval. And also at the Battle of Gergovia, well, I guess that was more of a breakdown in communications, where his troops did not get Caesar's memo about his strategy. Yeah, I'd say both had sometimes faulty chain of command. It really depends, though.
Like, I'm really thinking more about Hannibal's brothers and stuff.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, but Hannibal definitely kept his men together pretty well, especially considering that they're all like mercenaries.
Oh yeah. Very well trained professional mercenaries, though.
But it's still a miracle that these guys didn't speak the same language, but he all got them together.
Oh
and,
yeah.
And did his bidding.
And a common aim.
Indeed. Alright, so back to the battle here. My opponent's still on the hill. I was trying to entice him by sending in my archers to harass his men. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm targeting his naked fanatics, because I know those shields, they might look really big, but they don't really protect his naked fanatics that well. So he's bringing them back. And reason why I brought my legionnaires in first, I was hoping his his slingers would shoot them, but he turned off his slingers at that point. I mean, he stopped attacking them.
Yeah, it's interesting he's turned off fire at will here, or made them stop firing. Wonder
Yeah.
why that is.
Well, I think he wanted to save his ammunition for when the real fight started. Because right now, at this range, or at this angle, he couldn't really shoot my Legionnaires. But look at my opponent's new strategy here. He's bringing up his Numidians to draw the fire of my archers, and it actually worked. I started shooting at them. But once he starts to evade my archers, that's when I stop targeting them. So he's basically just going back and forth, trying to waste my arrows. And once I caught onto that, I switched targets again. So they're down to 13.
It's a very futile attempt here.
Yeah. I'm going to attack the targets that actually matter right now. And I'm not going to waste arrows on these units who are moving. But, of course, once they do stop moving, then I can target them again. Boom!
So far. Oh,
Yeah.
tricky.
Yeah, I was watching them. So he starts moving them again. That's right, Caesar is prepared. So yeah,
Something I was fascinated about in regards to Caesar's, you know, most Romans, they have to do military service in order to rise in politics. It's just, you know, the lessons you learn in war can be applied to politics, and that's something Caesar was really good at.
Yeah, he was very pragmatic in his outlook towards things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really quick, my opponent's taking his Numidians. He wants to get a nice charge on my archers, thinking I switched targets, which I did. But my guys can hold their ground.
There we go.
And yeah, his Numidians go bye-bye.
I think that's a good trade-off.
Yeah, it's a pretty good trade-off. I was happy that I no longer had to deal with the cavalry threat, you know, appearing in the rear of my troops.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact still remains, he's still on top of this hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. And this guy's...
Very tenuous situation.
Yeah. Pretty good battle so far.
Mm-hmm. So who do you think would win, Hannibal or Caesar, if pitted against each other in real life? Maybe with these armies, I guess.
With these armies, I definitely think Caesar would win. Reason being is that although I will concede that Hannibal was a better tactician, I think that the army of Caesar would just be too much for Hannibal to deal with. Because plus
really
Caesar,
experienced.
yeah, and plus Caesar had 8,000 cavalry in this battle. I think that would have been enough to at least nullify the cavalry advantage of Hannibal, or at least keep them off the infantry. And another thing, like Hannibal's one of his biggest weapons were his Numidians, but Caesar proved that he can actually deal with Numidian cavalry at the Battle of Thapsus. I think he dealt with 10,000 or so Numidians, and in order to nullify the Numidians, he chose a very narrow part to fight, and that nullified, you know, the maneuverability of the Numidians, and they all pretty much fled from the battle. And also at the battle, he also had to deal with elephants. So I don't think Caesar would have been shocked by Hannibal's army, but I do think Hannibal might have won maybe 1 or 2 battles, but I think in a campaign, I think Caesar would overcome at the end. What about you?
That's a hard one. I don't know. I guess I'd have to go with Caesar, yeah. I mean, he showed that he could deal with all these things. He had a lot of experience against cavalry and stuff, so... Yeah, it's a hard one, but I think Caesar would win.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. I will concede that Hannibal was a much better tactician. But yeah, I think this army of Caesar at this time period, I think it is too much.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I like how you pitted your light auxiliary against the skirmishers.
Yeah, very appropriate. But look at this, he routed one of my Legionnaires there. So I have to take this other unit of Legionnaires who are fighting his Balearics, and I'm going to transfer them over to this side.
Nice.
And yeah, at the same time, see, I'm basically redirecting my troops to fight whoever. So I got my archers fighting his slingers now, and I got my heavies fighting his heavies.
So I think the main factor here is you had more units of heavy infantry here, and you were able to distribute them where you needed them.
Indeed. Yeah, definitely. I think Caesar's main component would be his infantry, the awesome infantry made by Marius. And I wanted to definitely work that to my advantage and try to nullify his cavalry. Yeah, I definitely think that Hannibal would have had a cavalry advantage, but I don't think that numerical advantage would have been enough to make a decisive blow on Caesar's army. Because his cavalry was almost equal to Hannibal's in terms of numbers.
And probably skill. I mean, the Gallic cavalry, right?
Yeah, it was Gallic and Germanic.
Yeah. So,
and yeah, we both know that
he's
Caesar
very experienced by the time.
What's that?
He's very experienced by that time, and his troops are so battle hardened. I mean, it's after the Gallic Wars, right? So.
Indeed.
And the Civil Wars.
And Caesar was very careful about picking his battlefields. Like as I said about the Battle of Thapsus, how he nullified the Numidian cavalry there. But yeah, I mean, that said, yeah, Caesar did have experience fighting against Gauls, Numidian cav, elephants. But I guess a lot of it comes down to who's commanding that type of army. Because with a Carthaginian style army, it definitely, depends on the commander. And I'm gonna concede that Hannibal was the greatest of the Carthaginian commanders. So
it's hard to say.
It's very hard to say, but I'm gonna say in the long run Caesar. But if it came down to maybe one battle, I think Hannibal might be able to pull off an ambush and surprise Caesar. But you can't really surprise Caesar, more than once.
I agree.
Yeah.
Maybe if Caesar was younger, if it was before his Gallic Wars, I could see that happening more often. What do you think? I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
Mostly just bullshitting.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I just wanted to pull out their armies, at their prime, at their peak. And in my opinion, I like Hannibal's army at Trebia, and for Caesar, I definitely liked his army at Munda because he had so much cavalry at that battle. Something should be said though that Roman cavalry was somewhat defective. That's why oftentimes Caesar would mix in like light infantry amongst his horsemen in order to offset that balance. But yeah, definitely Hannibal had the tactical finesse.
Oh yeah.
But I definitely like to hear what all the viewers think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Should be a big debate, huh? Now you've brought this video out.
Indeed, very big debate. And in case you guys are wondering, there is going to be a follow-up battle where I command Hannibal's army, and my opponent will command Caesar's army. But it's a different opponent though, because I fought these on different days. But yeah, looking at these casualties, you can see it was really close. And I think that's that. I think Ace Blazer just lost his connection. Right?
Oh, still here, still here.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Oh, where'd you go? So any closing thoughts?
No, not really. Just a pretty great game, guys. It's very close. It's very fun to watch.
Indeed.
And thanks for having me on this co-commentary.
Yep, and Ace Blazer will be back for the next, for the flip battle, where I command Hannibal, and my opponent commands Caesar. Until then.
Bye.
Bye.